Hi, I'm Zoe with Paranormal Extraction, and yes, we're the Supernatural Light Workers, and we are up here at Truckee, California. We have Paul here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Paul, and tell us what's going on?
Yeah, hi, my name is Paul Fry, and I'm in the building that we built probably in 1994. And, I come here sometimes early in the morning and I work late at night. And, for many, many years, I hear things like footsteps, the doors opening, closing, and I'll get up and I'll walk down the halls and I never ever find any actual person, like a living person, and it goes on and on. My wife was the manager of this building for many years, and she's heard the same kind of thing, and she even had a dog here once that would alert up when we'd hear these sounds. And so one time, well, more than once, I would be sitting here, and that piece of window there
Will
is
you
actually.
show me, first of all, what do you do? I mean, tell everyone what you do.
My business is Paul Fry Designs, and I draw houses. I draw and design houses.
Yeah, you're an architect.
I'm an architect, yeah.
High-end architect.
Yeah.
Okay, so show me what you were showing me before about how the shades go up. You were just getting into that.
Yeah, these shades we draw these so we have the privacy, but these shades go up like that.
Sure.
And you can see into the hallway, of course.
Right.
It's a big piece of fixed glass. But this is usually down, but when it's dark, that's opaque and there's light behind it. And many times I've seen a gray shadow go by. I'll be sitting here and I'll hear something, I'll turn around in my chair and I'll see the shadow move past there. But quite a few times I've seen that. And
Does it only go from the left to the right always?
I don't know. I don't think so. Seems like it goes that way.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it seems like it, and I go out in the hall, and there's never any actual people here in the building. It almost always happens when it's just me.
Okay, or your wife.
Or my wife.
Or your dog.
And then she's alone too.
Okay, but have you actually talked to anyone else in the building?
About this?
Yeah,
and they haven't heard me. No.
Okay. Wonderful. Now, so what else goes on in this office? Anything else?
Well, there'll be noises up in the attic, and just
What type of noises?
thumping, bumping,
Okay.
bumping, thumping, movement.
Okay.
Something. I've thought forever it was a critter, just some kind of a squirrel or an animal, but
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I don't, because
Well, it's getting so weird now
it'll
that
come and go.
yeah, and it's getting a little weird. So
Yeah.
why don't you show us the other stuff
Okay.
about what you've experienced here, because we've already kind of gone over this.
Exactly. This is out in the hall, and this is where there's been definitely movement, and I hear the steps like that, for sure, if you can hear that. And then I'll come out here and look, and again, it's at night. It's always usually dark, and
Never during the day when you're
hardly-
alone?
No, never really during the day.
Never really,
Well,
or during the day.
if I'm
or-
completely alone and it's really quiet on a winter day, yes, I might.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why I want to know
And-
all the facts.
Yep. And one theory that I've gotten in my head is about the Donner Party, and all the people that came through here. They came along there. None of this was here, of course. This is just woods, and they came along here, just right, probably pretty much along Highway 40, because it's a natural pathway.
Well,
that's where the building is right there.
Well, that's where we tagged it, and we didn't know about the map. Okay, so if
Cool.
the building is here, we'll get into that later.
This
was...
and then I have a feeling that there was an encampment of people here because
Yes, that's what we got.
Because there's water, it's flat, it's green, and it's an open meadow. It'd be a perfect place to camp.
Yeah, now, okay.
A natural
then-
place to camp. And then they moved on. The
Right.
Donner Party encampment is right here at the east end of Donner Lake. And
Okay.
that's where they got stuck.
Now, right. But the interesting thing is because when we tagged something going on here, we didn't know about the Donner Party.
Yep.
And we came out here and we had that, we tagged it. Then I asked you, how far is it to where the really bad stuff, the cannibalism and all that.
Right.
This is only a mile and a half.
Uh-huh.
from there. So that's not very far.
No, and it would remember there was nothing. So there was just a trail and animal trails. So the mile and a half in 20 feet of snow might be a ways to go, but I'm almost certain that they weren't just there and the one out by Prosser.
No.
They were all along here.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
the funny thing is that, you know, Vic caught this, of course, outside, and we'll be getting more into this, but we had no idea. And this is only, and I'm going to say it again, a mile and a half out.
It's about a mile
So
and a
this
half.
is amazing that you have this map right here. Okay, so what else has been going on in here? What else do you want?
I'd like to also say that there was
Okay.
I believe it's also the Orientals, the Chinese that helped build the railroads. They were all over here, thousands of them helping to build the transcontinental railroad. So, and that means there was a lot of deaths too. They were all kinds of murder. Anyway, there's a lot of gruesome deaths of the Chinese. So that could play a factor in it too.
Okay, and also it's interesting because I asked you before about running because you're a runner and I used to be a runner.
Yep, I'd run around
And
Donner
so
Lake.
you used to run all
Yep.
the way around here, and I told
Yep.
you that you're gifted, okay, because you pick up on these things.
Uh-huh.
Now, talk about your experience in what places when
Well,
you used to run around Donner
I
Lake.
usually would start right here and park my car, and then I did it all year long. I did it in the winter, in the fall, and the spring, and a lot of times I would be completely alone. There's nobody back here.
Okay,
And-
is this where their encampment was?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay, and what was your
We believe.
experiences that you
Well,
felt?
I would just feel some kind of, just pressure feelings.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
And then they would go, and I'd look around, I'd stop, and nothing, of course, and then go again. And it happened quite a few times when I was running, and always when I'm alone.
Okay,
and I would
right.
be alone. You can be alone a lot in here.
Okay, and then you were saying then it would be okay. It was mainly
That's
up there.
China Cove, by the way.
And then you would start feeling it again over at this side.
Yeah,
Am I correct?
sometimes. Mhm.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Show the other really cool stuff.
Oh, well, this
Whatever else.
is kind of the center of the building. This is the elevator, and it's kind of interesting. People have gotten, it has stopped, and people have gotten stuck in it, and I don't ever use it.
Okay, well, Vic
'Cause if
had
I'm here alone, I won't be able
issues.
to get
Vic
out.
had some serious issues in there. And
Yeah, there's something going on with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what else? Is it downstairs, or the walking is
well,
here, or what's going
I
on?
always feel like that pressure.
Hey, Vic.
Like that pressure that I would feel when I was running, I can get that in here too.
That's
and it's
normal.
just a feeling.
Like this, kind of.
Kind of like
push
that.
it,
Kind
a
of like
push,
that.
right? A
Yep,
push. Okay,
exactly.
right.
Oh, good. They're going to stripe the parking lot.
Okay.
And then of course this. Definitely, people.
Walking
going up and down the stairs.
Wow.
I swear.
Okay.
And
Now,
it's very distinct. And I'll come out here. I'll come run out here, and there's nobody here.
oh, hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Go ahead. You looking for
Yeah, that's okay.
who?
John Mullen?
Well, he just left.
I know, he's supposed to drop this off.
Oh, okay, right down here.
All right, we'll be right back.
Sliding under the door.
Paul, we just went over before. I'm going to just, dupe this in, but the steps down here for sure. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Up and down, up and down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then,
That's actually kind of spooky. But
Then
it's
what
not-
down
it's-
here?
It's that there's never anything threatening about this feeling. It's not bad. It's not a bad feeling. I don't know. My wife will reiterate that too. It's nothing that's bad. It's just we've gotten to used to it. We're almost as a welcome. It's been going on for 20 years.
okay, so what happens down here? Weren't you saying something, or what was it?
That pressure again, of course, when I'll come down and get my nail,
Yeah.
and then I just hear things, thumps and bumps.
Okay.
That's all. And I
Right.
get my mail right here,
Uh-huh.
and you just feel like there's more than me here. How's that?
Yeah.
there's
Well-
there's a definite presence.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we tagged it, and I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh, sure.
And now we're going to go back up and explain what's going on.
Okay.
All right. Here we go again because you forgot to do this, but this is another
I
experience.
don't know which one it is.
You don't know which one.
I'll always
Okay.
be working in my office, and I'll hear this.
She's just
Definitely.
looking around.
Yeah, definitely. There's no. My wife will verify that. too.
Feminine or masculine spirit?
What do you
You got a
think?
hit?
I think it's a she.
Very
I
good.
think it's a female.
And you win.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
we're going
yeah.
to get.
She's totally
I
right.
just think it's a female spirit.
I know what she looks like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to get on
I
with
don't
that.
know
But
that.
thanks, Paul. And
She's
where
from
are
the
you
party,
at?
Paul.
Where-
10833 Donner Pass Road,
And-
Truckee, California. Paul Fry Designs, and I draw houses. I'll draw you a house.
Yeah, very credible witness here. Thank you.
That's a
Oh,
real
here again.
wetlands.
Okay, so you were just also explaining that you
Oh.
have an affinity towards one.
Yeah, there's always one that does the movement, the contact, the shadows, the steps, and the doors. It seems, but there's more. There's more of a group. I just contact with this one
Okay.
individual lady.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
You,
Hi, I'm Zoe with Paranormal Extraction, and Vic and I are on a job today at a haunted office in Truckee. I just wanted to make sure you guys know we're supernatural light workers, and we do work during the day. Anyways, this is going to be a big job here, but I am just going to show you a little bit about the location, one of them that we're going to be dealing with, and that's down here. It starts about from here, and it goes through Paul's office to here, all the way down. This is a huge, this whole thing, all the way through Paul's office is a huge portal, okay? So that's what we found in here. Next, we're gonna go outside and have Vic talk about it. I'm also going to show you the outside and explain how we came up with what we think, actually know, is going on here. So we'll be right back. After we discussed everything, Paul, I was just wondering, how do you feel about what we're going to come in and do after this? Do you know?
oh,
how are
I'm
you feeling? Are you feeling
I
hot?
have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, you
know,
do?
and I like the idea that it's going to help me. It's going to all
Excellent.
work together. I really like that.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. This will take us a few times, so we just want to say thank you so much again.
Sure.
And you're on.
Okay, this is interesting. So I want to just show you where the portal is because it's kind of interesting. It's from that white beam to that beam, and if you think about it here, that's his office, right in the middle. Behind that is where all the activity goes on,
And the elevator.
and the elevator. So there we go. Okay, so that's it. I just wanted to show that. Hi, it's Vic and Zoe, and yes, Paranormal Extraction, Supernatural Light Workers. We have just been, obviously, at this location, and very interesting on our findings. Of course, we're going to have to come up here probably several more times on this. Right now, we have some smudge burning. Actually, it's sage.
Sage and sweetgrass together.
Good. Now, first of all, when we came down here finally, and we've been experiencing this since we first came in, is I have been like, all of a sudden I've gotten really tired, and then I'm okay. And then I'm so tired. And then I'm okay. Now, when you went up the elevator, yeah.
Well, the elevator is at the center of things, and I moved up and down in there, and I just kind of stepped off in it. But what I noticed first of all is that though the elevator's lit in all four corners and the ceiling is all lighted, it was significantly darker in there when you crossed the veil, right?
Right.
It got darker in the elevator. It's really odd, very odd. And then I just rode upstairs, but by the time I got upstairs, My heart was beating faster. My blood pressure was up. I know that because I've had a couple of heart attacks.
That's
And
not
I'm
funny,
on-
but I'm laughing.
But I monitor myself quite often, you know,
Yeah.
just to see what's going on. My energy had been zapped, and I had to sit down and catch my breath. So that was an indication of whatever's going on there was not necessarily bad, but very heavy, very dense. That's what the feeling I got. As far as the outside of the building was concerned, I simply followed a spirit trail.
Yeah, you did.
So what I do is I open up a cigarette, I use the purest tobacco, American Spirits, and I use the non-filters, and I open that up and I put that down on the ground, and I see which way it blows, and the wind was blowing. In this case, it was blowing to the
Now, this was when you were doing, because we always go separate.
Yes.
I always, when we first came here, you go your way alone, I go my way alone.
Yeah, I was attracted to the outside.
And so you went your direction,
Mhm.
and so that's your experience.
Right.
And
I
go
haven't
ahead.
experienced inside, but
But so the smoke was going, because you always notice that.
the tobacco blew in that direction, which was, according to your compass, right, which was the southeast.
Right, because I was using my compass today.
Southeasterly direction. So I followed that trail, you know, and it went counterclockwise. It didn't go clockwise. It went, or sunwise, right? So it's going the opposite direction. Instead of going this direction, it's going this direction, which is an indication that there's some type of vortex that happens.
Right.
You know, we've seen it in our ceremonies. Actually, it's honored. It's called the whirlwind. It creates a whirlwind. So I followed that trail, and it was just really easy. All the way around the wetlands, all the way around to the pool. There's a pond down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I got the verification hit on this spirit that we've been talking about.
Right.
It's a female. It's a woman, young to middle age, and she's dressed in Western dress. She's not a native woman. It's a white woman, and she's dressed in heavy clothing from the 19th century.
Right.
She's got a hood or shawl on around her shoulders and over her head, and another blanket wrapped around her. Her feet are wrapped up, like she shuffles as if she's been walking in snow.
Right.
And I believe right around here, and Paul helped us verify this as well, there's another camp
Well,
for the Donner Party.
that's correct. Now
That's what we're talking
now
about. People
I picked up
all
on that.
along.
I picked up on that. Now let me just explain a little bit about me, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just going to kind of spin off on my story because I was inside, and I definitely felt there was a certain portion of the building that definitely had a vortex. Now I met Vic out there because I like to go around the property too, and we found each other, and he was doing his stuff over there, and we looked over to the building, and I knew exactly where the vortex was in the middle of the building, and believe it or not, that's where Paul's office is, and the elevators, and where we're getting tired, and all of these things are happening. Now, you and I both knew it was a female spirit before we even got here. So after that, we went in and we spoke with Paul on what we think it is. We think it is definitely, if you would have seen the part on the Donner Party, which we had no idea that this was a location when we came out here. It's only actually 1.5 miles away.
From the Forlorn Hope.
Right, that's where the cannibalism
Yeah,
occurred.
that's-
It's only actually 1.5 miles away, and it's right on the trail, okay? Which is quite interesting. We didn't know that until
That trail is now called Donner Pass Road, if you've ever been to Truckee, California.
Right.
That's the old trail, and it's also the old highway. It's been a trail here since the party.
Now I believe, okay, my intuition kicked in before I even knew this, that this was some type of stopping area. Okay, so it was verified by Paul upstairs by telling me this is actually only 1.5 miles away from where they actually really stopped, okay? But they did stop here too.
Well, the thing is that this was a wagon train, so there's more than one party involved. And each camp had a different name. This being a natural wetlands, right? Which means it's a spring-fed pond and it's fed by the runoff. This would be a place where people would camp, close to water, right?
That's right, because there's actually a water stream out there.
Exactly. It's been there forever.
And
this
we'll go
is-
show you. I'm going to just do a little...
It's been a
walk
cattle,
around.
it's been a dairy farm and several other things. This is a natural meadow that we're in. And my feeling was that this was another camp. That
Yeah.
people were rather close to the pond, out
Definitely.
there to the water. And this
Definitely.
woman was attached to some very young spirits here, which are children, right, that she probably cared for. There were several children lost in that tragedy. And that she somehow is a caretaker for them. And I can't remember the name of the woman exactly, but there was a woman that cared for the children in that party. If you're going to do a little more
Right.
research.
Well, which we have to do because we're going to do research. We have a lot to do on this one
Because
to
the Donner-
verify that.
Right,
You
because
know,
the
if
Donner...
it's true or not.
Well, the Donner story is more than just the Donner story. It's the story of a group of people, a whole wagon train that arrived here late and met with tragedy and a very bad winter, as this place can have.
So basically, what we're going to come back and do is this. We're going to shut that portal down. Okay, that's one of the things that we need to do because there is some negative spirits here. However, Paul's been very lucky in not having anything happen to him around that. There have been some private issues, but we won't discuss that. That we'll be taking care of with him personally. We're also going to work with the spirits that are surrounding the property, especially the woman, either passing her on if she chooses or not. So
At the very least, what we'd like to do is make it possible for her to make the decision to cross over.
that's correct.
Or not, to meet the Rainbow Bridge. That can't be seen from a place where there's a porthole. She can't see any other place. She's been lodged here for a long time, you know. And there's a certain sadness with her, I would say. It's a melancholy, that's what I would call it. You know, that kind of comes with being around this and what happened with her. But I have a feeling that when spirits have an option, they'll seize what they intuitively know is good for them, like people do.
Absolutely.
They're no different from us, except they don't have a body anymore.
Exactly.
They don't even know that many times,
No. No.
whether there's a body or not.
No.
So what you're going to see in these clips is where I went out and I followed not only that spirit trail laid with tobacco, and I'll give you a little history on that later too, but I followed the smudge. I just followed the smoke. Mm-hmm. And it was all out in front of me. So I just
Right.
followed that, and that keeps me on the trail. And I followed it all around to the pond, and the rest is all, that's what I have right now.
Right, and what I have to deal with is a portal and the stuff that I need to do with him personally, but and also our research. So we just wanted to kind of give you a little bit about what we experienced here today because these things do not, the kind of work we do, these things do not just take us coming in and going out and being in somewhere at night. You don't have to go in at night. Sometimes processes can take up to months. This one, I would have to say, would be at least 3 processes that we're going to have to do. And so you're going to continue to see videos. The next one we're going to come in and do is, of course, all the work that we do to remove or to let free or to stay, okay? And so there you have it. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm still really tired right now. But we're right next to this building.
I am renewed, and I'm ready to
Okay.
do whatever's
So we're
necessary.
going to get on with this, and we will be back. Okay, so we are at the back of the building that we were just at. It's right over there. And as you can see, this is where the wetlands are, and there is that stream that we discussed before. Now, Vic is out here, so he's going to be explaining or we don't ever know. We just fly.
This is part of the spirit trail that I followed around to the back of the building from the front all the way around to the rear and then over this way. And we followed, if you'll notice, the smoke is going in front of me. So I followed the smoke and I followed the spirit trail. I got here and I knew that, oh, I'm at the center or something, and then I look over at the building, right?
Right.
We're at the center of this vortex where
And there it is.
where Zoe showed you the front of the building. This space has no space, let's put it that way. It's too big to go around, too high to jump over, too low to go under. It's a hole in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it
Literally is what they
Yeah.
are. Now these spirits are gathered over here. There's a pond directly over here.
Now this is where I think one of the stopping points were for the Donner Party was in here, because it's only right here. I mean, literally.
That could have been water at that time of year. That would have been. In October up here, the ground is frozen. At times, Truckee is the coldest place in the United States. I don't know if people know that or not, but it's Truckee, California. It can get devastatingly chilly here, below zeros. And because of the air and lake effect from the Tahoe and Donner Lake, it can be frosty here and chilly. And people have a hard time surviving up here even today with modern convenience. So you can imagine, with no contrivances, matches for fire or a fire starter, and coming on to the dead of winter, right, in about a month, how desperate these people were to make it through the winter. Now this woman walks from that encampment by the pond. She walks across this because, there's no ground for her. There's no earth for her. She just walks across this and goes in the back door of that building.
I know.
Because
I
I believe
know.
that she's in need of comfort and in connection with this world. She's not exactly lost, and she stays here because she has a purpose, but she doesn't have a choice at the time either. And that's what I got from this place, that there's a definite spirit there that is this woman from the Donner Party, and it's not a problem here.
And except
It's
for
not a
that portal and
But that allows anything to come and go. And what we're going to do for Paul is close the portal and give him a waluta for protection, and that marks him and the place as sacred.
right. Now I'm
That's
just
what we
going to
do.
show you a little bit as we're walking back. This is what's behind here. Okay, it's a courthouse, library, courthouse, and it's just kind of right there, in the middle of nowhere. All right, you ready to get out?
Let's go.
We will be back. Different date.